Hi quilters, I'm Shelly Rathstone from the Quilted Forest, and we are starting a new mystery quilt. We have a few things we're going to do differently this time with our mystery quilt, and one of them is we are going to have clues out every other Friday. So they will start today, and then every other Friday from here forward it'll be 6 clues that we have in this mystery. I will be putting the fabric requirements on the first clue, and so you will see that today. Make sure you hit like and subscribe so that you can follow along on our mystery quilt.
This mystery quilt needs 4 fabrics: a color 1, which you'll need 1 1/8 yard, color 2, which is 5/8 yard, color 3, which is 5/8 yard, and a background at 1 3/4 yards. You will also need 5/8 yard for a border if you decide you want to add one at the end, and for your binding fabric also 5/8 yard. And I would suggest getting the border and binding the same as color number 1. I highly recommend making a fabric key so that you remember which one is your color 1, your color 2, and your color 3. You can either push pause and take notes, or take screenshots of the fabric requirements page and page 1 of the directions. Another option for you is we're going to invite you to join our group on Facebook called the Quilted Forest Friends. That will give you access to files that you can download and print from home. These will be related to our block of the months and mysteries and more. Time to cut. Let's cut 4 strips of color 2, 2.5 inches by the width of the fabric. I have my fabric doubled so that I can cut 2 layers at once. From the background fabric, you will need to cut 5 strips, 2.5 inches by the width of the fabric. My fabric is doubled here to cut the first 4 strips, and then to cut the 5th strip I will peel away the top layer and then just cut the bottom strip by itself. Using 1/4 inch seam allowances, you are going to piece 2 background strips onto opposite sides of a color 2 strip. I will sew both of the background strips onto the color 2 strip before I take it to the ironing board. If you would rather, you could press in between sewing on the background strips if that makes it easier for you. We are making 2 sets of this unit. Now it's time to piece the color 2 strips onto opposite sides of a background strip. You will make 1 set like this. should have one set that has the color 2 on the outside and 2 sets that have the background on the outside. These units should measure 6.5 inches wide once they are pressed. For both of these units, you are going to want to press towards the color 2 fabric or the darker fabric. Now it's time to subcut these units into 2.5-inch sections. They will measure 2.5 by 6.5. When I'm using my 12.5-inch ruler, I can start from the 12.5-inch mark and then go to the 10-inch mark, the 7.5, the 5, and the 2.5, and I can cut 5 different pieces without having to move the ruler or the fabric as much. I do need to straighten after each section. You will need to get 16 sections that are 2.5 by 6.5 from the piece that has the color 2 fabric on the outside. Now it's time to cut the pieces that have the background on the outside. I am going to cut both of these at the same time. I'm feeling a little brave today, so I'm going to layer these up and cut 2 sections at the same time. When I'm cutting 2 sections at the same time, I'm very careful to double check my measurements as I go, that I'm cutting on the right line, because if you make a mistake, now you've doubled the mistake. So if you carefully cut, this really makes cutting a lot faster. You will want to make sure to straighten at the start of each section, because every time you cut, you've maybe moved the fabric a little bit, and so the next part needs to be straightened again. From these 2 sets where the background is on the opposite sides of the color 2 strip, you will need to get 32 sections that are 2.5 by 6.5. Now it's time to sew the units together. Because you've pressed the seams to the dark, these edges should just nest right up together and make sewing your 1/4-inch seams nice and easy. We are making 16 9-patch blocks that will measure 6.5 by 6.5. I love using my Blade Saver thread cutter to cut these pieces apart. Makes it go nice and fast. Now it's time to press before we add the other side. I am going to be pressing towards the piece that has the background in the two corners, and I will usually press my seams flat first to get them to kind of set the thread, and then press them towards the outer edge. Now it's time to add the other side to complete our block. Those pieces again should nest together so that they're easy to sew. And there it is, our finished block. Now it's time to press. Once you get your blocks all pressed, it's time to put them in a safe place so you can find them when the next glue comes out. I usually like to store mine with the glue in a plastic bag and put it somewhere safe.
Thanks for watching and happy quilting! Thanks for quilting! Wow! Oh. Okay, I gotta get this together. Bloody bloody blah. Okay. What's going on with my glasses? Oh, I can't. Oh my goodness. All right. I got this. You're looking at me funny. Okay, I think we're done now.